Now it's off to Cameroon, where the incumbent president, Paul Biya, and his challenger, Issa Tchiroma Bakary, have both claimed leads as Cameroon's presidential vote counting continues. Biya is one of the world's oldest serving heads of state, is seeking to extend his 43-year rule. Meanwhile, the former employment minister, Tchiroma, has gained unexpected support, energizing voters eager for change. Biya has historically secured over 70% of the vote in past elections. Official results are expected within 15 days, with 55,000 local and international observers, including African Union representatives, monitoring the process closely. Joining us now is Tabenyang Etchu. He is a Cameroonian intellectual and political analyst and is based in Washington, D.C. Mr. Etchu, many thanks for joining us on the news. Now, the elections have entered a familiar place with both candidates claiming victory. Did you foresee this kind of impasse, especially because official results are not due till 2 weeks' time?
A familiar place indeed, and yes, it was anticipated, even though the person who most people had in mind was Maurice Kamto. Mr. Tchiroma came from nowhere, practically because of the yearning desire of the people for change. So he became like the vessel for most of the people who have felt left behind, disenfranchised within the community, to express their desire for change. It's too early to call. I see a lot of people, particularly the Tchiroma supporters, jubilating based on social media trappings. But I think by law, and all of the candidates do agree with the provision that the results are supposed to be made official after 15 days. You can see some of them now jockeying for position and asking that the results should be released immediately. I think people have to remain calm and patient and let the process really draw out.
Now, given the show of strongman tactics already and the threats of being issued, by government officials, is there an actual victory? Is there going to be an actual victory for the opposition? Is there a realistic expectation that the opposition might win?
I mean, if you are a keen election observer in Cameroon, for those who have been following the political situation in Cameroon for a long time, we cannot negate the hidden hands of France, given that Cameroon remains a vassal state of the French. So the game is being played in the background. It is quite very difficult for you to see that what is happening now is what has happened in previous election cycles. The government, having control, most of the time try to intimidate people into silence, because really is the results foregone conclusion. You can be a player and a referee in the same game and you lose in a game of high stake, as the election that just passed yesterday in Cameroon. So it's obvious that a lot of people, even though there is hope that there could be change, but it's practically impossible to dislodge a 43-year-old autocratic regime through the ballot box.
All right. Speaking of a 43-year-old autocratic regime, earlier, I think, was it yesterday, we're having a conversation with a former presidential aspirant, and he said that that what he foresees is that this might still tilt towards the favor of the incumbent, simply because the opposition were unable to form a coalition or united front or a mega party, giving the 13, I think about 12 opposition or 12 aspirants running alongside Biya. Do you see this happening? What do you see playing out or panning out in the next 15 days or 2 weeks? Do you see the Biya winning this election, giving his 43-year autocratic rule, or do they stand a chance?
Based on history, it is obvious that given the fact that he controls the entire electoral process, he controls the ELECAM, he controls the Constitutional Council, he controls the Minister of Territorial Administration that ran the entire elections. Yes, there is a high degree of certainty that he could maintain or retain the presidency. The argument that because the opposition could not congregate behind one single candidate could be the reason why they're losing the election, that's not true. That is so naive because any of those opposition candidates in Biya's position is going to win. So it's really not about the number of candidates in the election. When the SDF won in 1992, there were multiple opposition candidates. Some of them are still in this election cycle, like Buba Bello Maigari and even Chiroma, who was the supporter of Buba Bello Maigari. So it's not about the number of opposition candidates, it's about who controls the electoral process. And in this case, the Cameroon government, Biya and his henchmen, the people who have been put in place by the regime are in absolute control of the entire process. So it is obvious for anybody to expect that he is going to retain the supreme magistracy in that country.
As the counts continue, this premature announcement of taking lead both from Tchiroma's camp and Biya's camp, do you see any legal implication, especially for Tchiroma, saying that his contender, should I say opposition, or the incumbent himself, has this autocratic rule or this autocratic system in his favor?
If you look at the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Biya, who happens to be the political hangman of the regime, has won for any preemptive declaration of as a winner. But you cannot arrest everybody in a situation like this. And I think it would be foolhardy for them to arrest Tchiroma at this time, given that they have control of what is happening. Whatever declaration is going to come out there from the opposition, from the official results, at the end of the day, the international community is going to look at the official results. And as international diplomacy is concerned, it's a game of interest. If they see that their stock is still with the regime, Biya is going to retain the presidency.
All right. Etchu, I must say thank you for taking out the time to join us. Tabenyang Etchu, he is just a political analyst joining us live from Washington, D.C. as we wait for Elecam as the count starts for the presidential elections in Cameroon.